Hello, this is MetaLmindscrollart, MetaLmindscrollart, or just first name's Meta. The kind of things that I watch on YouTube right lately would be Joel Hansen. He's a competitive eater, and I don't know how he must have an incredible metabolism, a fast one or something, and he can throw down a lot of food, and it's really surprised me. So, and then there's somebody who actually, I can't remember their name. David's been here, and he travels and eats a lot of different foods. And that's something that I miss doing while I used to travel to New York and Niagara Falls. But I try to get out and eat whenever I can. I mean, I eat at home a lot more now, and I'm healthier for it. Oh, goodness. So anyway, yeah, and he came to Roanoke. David's been here. It's his channel on YouTube, and he travels around the world and um, experiences different cultures, and so does. Sometimes I watch Mark Weens, and he's pretty good. And then I watch, yeah, and I've been watching some Ozzy Osbourne, like the travel, like A&E or something had this thing where he was not only his reality show with his family, which is great. It's very comical with all the animals that he has, the dogs and a cat, I think. And then he went on traveling across the country and other places around the world, some to with his son Jack. And then later Kelly comes and goes traveling with him while Jack is on hiatus, probably a couple of weeks, because his wife's going to have a baby. And so that's interesting. That's fun. Very fun to watch. Other things that I watch would be lately I've been watching David Bowie. Some of his new stuff before before he passed away. And I like his old stuff too. And then I like this band called Creed, and they're kind of like new metal, post grunge. And I learned about them in 1997, and they're the first band to be signed onto Wind Up Records. And then I went to go see them in Greensboro when I was 17, and my mom took me, and I was in the mosh pit, but I helped her with another woman, help her get up on the, and she was much younger then, so she could handle this. She drove all the way to Greensboro, and it was kind of hard getting there. We stayed at a hotel that night after show, but the show was really great. I didn't like the hotel. It was bad because it had bed bugs. And so we had to ask for another room, and then that had no bed bugs, but I, still didn't want to stay there. Anyway, Greensboro, North Carolina. Yes, it's been a fun place to go when you need to go see concerts. So I saw first it was Guano 8, Seven Dust and Creed, and they opened up in Greensboro. And when I was 17, go figure what year that was. I can't remember right now. 1998 maybe. And then at Greensboro, North Carolina in 2009 or 10, it was after the second reelection of Obama. Me and my ex, Jay Stu, went down to Greensboro, North Carolina. I drove down there and I made it to this Coliseum place. And I didn't think I was going to make it. I stopped halfway there at a Goodwill we took a break at. We found one on the side of the road. And I was just going by written paper notes to know when to take the next exit. Well, because I wasn't using GPS then on my phone. And wasn't really up to date that way, yet. I don't know if it had gone that far yet back then. But I wanted to go see Nine Inch Nails. And when Head Like a Hole, when they started playing, I mean, no, wait, Is that the name of the song? Sometimes I get mixed up with a theme in the song and I call it the title. That's bad when you start doing that in the beginning. Anyway, we went down there, and somebody stepped on my toes. It was a girl, and she was dancing really hard. She was stomping, and she stomped my toes, and just went on about it. And then I enjoyed the rest of it, but I had on some boots, and my the end of my boot got mashed in, and they weren't like, very strongly made that way. So go figure. I got them at the mall in Roanoke. Well, probably at J.C. Penney's, and anyway, because that was my favorite. It was Montgomery Ward with my grandma growing up and my mom, and then it was Pop. Well, Pop came too. It was maybe my cousins. Sometimes we'd all go to the mall and we'd go to Montgomery Ward, J.C. Penney's, and Sears. And Sears with Jim Arrington, my mom's fiance at a time in her life. He worked at Moducraft building homes, and he was from Australia originally, and he came over here when he was like little with his parents, and he says he remembers the atom bomb. That's how old he was, having to get under his desk for the drills, and that might have been during the 50s in America. But anyway, I can't remember the whole story about Jim Arrington, but he was a very nice man, and he was a bit old for my mom, but they went together a while. And he also took us to Disney World when I was 9 and my brother was 18, and that was a horrible trip. Because we stopped at this sombrero hat and it was a high rise in this thing that you ride in Atlanta, Georgia, and I went crazy for that. We had been on the road going, starting out when Jim Arrington started driving in his little burgundy Pinto of some sort, but he kept it running. He was a handyman, so anyway, we were going down there, and my brother had a Walkman and I had nothing. He had a Game Boy, and he wouldn't let me play it much. And so we were on our way down there, and Mom said, if you do this, we're going to eat here, stay the night, and ride that little big sombrero hat for you, and we're going to turn around and go home. Because, well, we got pulled over by the police in I-81, leaving Roanoke or somewhere to go down to Florida. It must be the wrong direction. Maybe I need to go south and not north. In my head, I can't remember, but I'd never been that fast before on the highway. Once Mom took over, we started going the speed limit. But Jim Arrington was going 50 or 45 the whole time. At least 10 to 15 or 20 under. And I think it was because he's not used to driving on roads like that. And Mom had the hang of it. She'd been to California when she was younger. I've never been to California. But it sounds fun. And it was a turning point in her life. And she was searching herself, I guess. I don't know what all she got into, but I hope it was good. She said she was working somewhere, but I can't remember what that was either. Well, anyway, then the other bands in Greensboro, North Carolina, I've seen Pearl Jam and with the Binaural tour. And the first one I saw a couple of days before that was at Virginia Beach Amphitheater. And it was in 2000 or 2001, the Binaural tour. And that was touching. It was good. I was a member of the 10 Club. I guess I still am, but I mean, I quit getting the records in the mail because I quit, of course. I guess I quit. You don't have to give. My address changed too because I was 18 and I don't even remember. Oh my word! But I got really good seats, and me and my mom, and you know, well, it was just me and my mom. You know, we didn't have nobody else wanted to go with us. None of her boyfriends or nobody. It was just me at 18 years old with my mom helping her and her helping me. And I was a member of the Tim Club, and then I got in not in the very front seats, but on a row up above that, above on another level. And it was back some. So I was a member at least a year before I bought the tickets. And I think they were like $70 or $75 a piece. 70 something, if I can remember. And I worked a job, my first job, as a caregiver. And I made the money from, it was the first time I ever had a job. And so that was fun. I felt good about my life at that time. I could work and make a living. And I was definitely, I'm not going to say I'm better than anybody else. I'm not middle class now, according to my income, but, I was middle class growing up with income in the family, but class, I'm a half hillbilly, so I'm a full hillbilly, half hillbilly, whatever you want to say. Country. And because my grandpa, oh my word, him and my grandma, I love them, but they grew up during the Great Depression. And they were real backwoods, I mean, it's kind of funny. But it's a blessing too, because this is where I was planted. This is me. This is the way I grew up. And my dad didn't stay in contact with me that much. He had a lot of responsibilities, and he was sick from serving in Vietnam. So he told me that by the time I was 16, 15. And I said, I'm sorry, it's okay. But we didn't talk much. And it was before the Facebook and everything. And then we got on Facebook with and didn't call much or visit, because he's like living in South Carolina. So, and that's where my relatives are that are on my dad's side. So I grew up isolated from them mostly. And, it was hard. But I don't know what I've learned from this, from my life being this way. But I know I've probably learned perseverance, patience, uh, forgiveness. There's no reason to be mad at people, for something that they might not have been able to help. People fall out of touch. So, okay, well, I'm going to end this on a happier note. I haven't painted anything again yet, but I hope to. And I'm hoping to stay healthy. I'm taking these vitamins. They're called Yumvies Multivitamin Mineral Zero with zero sugar. And it tastes like raspberry a little bit. And it's sweet with something, but I don't know what. Anyway, I feel much better. And I still have diabetes and alpha-gal, but my readings for my blood were better last time. My blood sugar looked better, and I got down to 215 pounds. So then lately I've been keeping it that way. I haven't been losing any more. So, but I started out a year and a half ago when I first started the metformin, and I was like 374 pounds when they first weighed me. I won't forget. I was so big, and I found out I was allergic to foods. That's why my stomach was swollen. And it took me at least, I don't know how long to get straightened out with that. I can't eat bananas, avocado, pork of any kind. The doctor said if you do, eat it in very minute quantities or small quantities to test it out. And I did, and I'm not going to eat no more pork because I throw up on it. If I accidentally eat bacon in something, which is everywhere, it makes me sick. I throw up, I cough, my heart races. Feel like I might almost like I was like I need to go to the hospital, because I got the heart racing, and that was after I ate bacon on a salad. Then I ate bacon on potatoes in a bird's eye frozen dinner thing. And I didn't know, really it would hurt me at the time because I just started testing it out like a year and a half ago with this stuff and realizing I was throwing it all up and coughing and having reactions. And then my stomach would get like swollen with diverticulitis, I guess. And it would really be hard, different things, and I won't get into it. But I got it straightened out now. It's a horrible thing to go through, so I wouldn't want anybody to have to go through this. But you do need a doctor if you're going to get help, and that's what I've been doing. So I do a lot of it on my own too, because that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, nobody's going to take care of you for you. You got to take care of yourself as much as you can, or else you might not make it. you know. So anyway, I'm gonna go now, and I can't think of anything else. My word, I got emotional during this. Okay, love, peace, and God bless.